This strategy is so simple, but yet a lot of traders still don't know how to utilize it to catch good trades. Today we'll be talking about trend lines, how to utilize it, how to plot a good trend line, and how to use it to catch good trades in the market.
Hi, it's ElvisBillman, real estate trader. If you need a property names, you know your product.
Alright, so trend lines are lines which act as support or resistance. Trend lines are lines which basically just act as support or resistance zones. They are lines whereby which shows you that there are lines which shows you that when the market gets to that point, it will bounce. So just let me just explain it by drawing. Let's assume we're in an uptrend and price is forming higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. Now with trend line, there's a line that connects 2 points. Now if I'm to draw a trend line from here, a trend line is a line that connects point 1, this, point 2, this. That's a valid trend line. So like this, once you have price push 1, push 2, you can, and price is pushing up, you can assume this as a trend line. Don't mind my drawing, I'm very bad at drawing. Yes, you can assume this as a trend line, having 1 touch here and 2 touch here. Now the major use of the trend line is to understand the market structure of the market and to know how to align with the trend. You know, as traders, the trend is our friend. So having that in mind, whatever we're doing, we have to always follow the trend, and trend line just helps us to follow the trend. That really rhymed though. So now let's move on to the chart. Let's see how to plot trend line correctly. Now there are a lot of people asking questions like, do you plot trend lines by the peak or the top, by the week or the body of the candle? How do you plot trend line? A lot of people ask that question. Like, I've seen that question a lot of times. So majorly I trade GBP, USD and US30. Those are my major pairs. So let me just make my screen a bit less yes, a bit less clustered. So you can see I use trend lines a lot. So the place we'll be using this axis, for example, we'll be using this place for an example. So I'm just gonna let's just give here a box and we'll give it color purple. Purple is a very nice color. Yeah. So now let me zoom out a bit. Yes. So as I said, trend line is a point that connects. You can see I'm on the trade now. My trade is already playing nicely. How did I get that trade? Trend line. But we'll come to that part. You can see this trend line. So we can see that price pushed down. So now we're going to try and understand the structure. So now this is a push down, and this is the up. This is a higher high and higher low, higher high, higher low. Now we have 2 higher lows. So from this point we can correctly say that we are able to plot a trend line. Let me just clear this part a bit. So from here we'll put 1 and we'll put 2. Now people ask, do you draw by the body? Most people ask, do you draw a trend line? From the body like this, or do you draw from the wick like this? The real truth is there's no correct way of drawing a trend line. There's no perfect way of drawing a trend line. That's just the thing. You have to draw the trend line in a way it aligns to your market. Like at first, when this market started pushing, I had my trend line like this. But then when drawing trend line, for me, I'm a day trader, I just go down to the 1 hour time frame. It makes it way more easier for me to draw my trend line. So we had just these 2 points. We're imagining we're here, price is still here. Let's assume, where is my vertical to? Yes. So I say let's assume price is still here. All those places hasn't formed. So from here now we'll be having our trend line like this. Yeah, we'll be having a trend line like this. Just we have like this point first, this point here, expecting price to come down here. But then Having price come here, push up, come here, we can already see this. So we just adjust our trend line to this point here. So now we already know that, okay, we have one touch, two touch, and now we're expecting price to what? Give us our third touch around this level. The next thing you wait for your other confirmations, like a candlestick confirmation, candlestick formations majorly, and you'll be able to spot if the market would buy from that point. If the market would buy. Now the thing with trend line is trend line majorly gives three touches before it breaks. At the fourth touch it gets weak. Fourth touch it gets weak. So having that in mind, you know this is the first touch here, this is the second touch, and this is the third touch. So you know the third touch is still strong. Using our strategy, we use the M or W pattern. What we just do, we go to the lower time frame of the 15 minutes. When we see a W, we know the market is ready for a buy. Just like this. Just like this. We had the first touch here, we had the second touch here, and now in the third touch, price came down, pushed up, came down. Let me just try and show you the market structure of this point. So from here you can see price from a low, lower low, lower low, lower high. Now there's a lower low, there's a lower high. Now let's just assume this to be a lower low, a lower high, a higher low, a higher high, or what? Higher low again. So from here, what we're looking out for is to long this market. So from this point is a very good point to long this market, placing our stop just slightly below here, and we'll be catching a 1 to 2. I'm a very good preacher of 1 to 2 risk reward, 1 to 2 risk reward. But then this market even gave up to a 1 to 3, which is fine and perfect. How did we catch this? Just by trend line. Now let's extend this our trend line a bit further. Now what happened here again? Let's just see. Price pushed here and came down. So we just do the same thing. You see lower low, a lower high, then a lower low, a lower high, now a higher low, higher high, then price came down again to form what? A higher low, and now that's why here's just like we're adding more positions here because we took profit here. Then this one we swing it over to the next day. You can see this is Wednesday and now today is Thursday, so we're swinging it over to the next day because we're expecting price generally to form what? A higher high, because price has been forming higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, a higher low. Now expecting another higher high. So yes, that's why we're long in this market. So trend line is just to help you follow the trend. As I said, the trend is your friend. So when trying to follow the trend, that's how you do it. So now from this point here, let's see if we got our W pattern. And if you want to sign up to the mentorship, just use the link or drop a comment in the comment section. Use the link below. I'll drop a link for you to join the Telegram community where I share free signals. I share free signals on there. Or if you want to join the inner circle, you can message me on Instagram at ElvisBillman or Telegram at ElvisBillman. Now we can see that our W pattern was formed perfectly well and we had a retest. Now notice that everything we're doing aligns with this our trend line. Can you see this? Can you see this? Can you see how price pushed down, respected the trend line, and was still moving up? That's just how it is. That's just how it is. So when you can see the W pattern form nicely, the retest, and we're still riding it up. So basically that's just how to use trend line. When using trend lines, you need to be flexible. I think flexibility is key when it comes to trend line. Flexibility is key when it comes to trend line. I could show you multiples of trades I've used to catch trend line. Multiples of prop firms have used trend line strategy to pass. And as you can see, this particular trade here is a result of this trend line. Is a result of this trend line, basically. Now I also use what's called the counter trend line, but I'll be speaking just a bit about this. If you want to know more about the counter trend line, join the mentorship. So from here, the counter trend line is just used to guide me to know when to buy and when to sell. So you know when to buy is when the counter trend line has been broken and it comes for a retest, just like this. This trend line we had here a one touch here and a two touch here. Price came up here, gave a third touch here. We already know, as I said, three touch, expect the break. Then this is the breakout, this is a retest, and we're long from here. And that's why we're still taking it to the up. We're still taking it to the moon, Elon Musk to the moon. Yes, guys. So that's it. So that's how to use the trend line correctly. Just some key points. Number one, there's no perfect way of drawing a trend line. Two, you have to be very flexible. Three, you could use my candlestick formation, which I use to get into trades, which is what W patterns for buys and M patterns for sales. Feel free to join my Telegram community where I share free signals. The link is in the description below, and smash the like button on this video, subscribe to this channel, and drop a comment in the comment section telling me what other video you want me to shoot for you guys. For those that want to join the inner circle where I teach my strategy in full, once you join the Telegram community, every other details will be communicated there, but then you can still message me on Telegram at ElvisBillman and on Instagram at ElvisBillman or the Real Estate Trader. You guys know, if you know the property in Lagos, you know your plug. You know the vibes, guys.
Anything I said, I stand on it. In a private lane, I land on it.